I thought the surprise dinner was for our anniversary. Turns out it was her engagement party to someone else. The worst part? She was still living in my house when I found out. Hey, let me pull you into my world and take you back to when everything seemed right. I'm Lucas, 39, a software developer who spent years building a life in Seattle, complete with a cozy house I designed from the ground up with my own hands. Life was rolling along smoothly until it all came crashing down, but back then, it was a dream I didn't know could turn into a nightmare. My girlfriend, Chloe, 34, had been by my side for 4 incredible years, and for the last 2.5, she'd been sharing my home, turning it into a space that felt like ours. We met at a tech conference where her sharp humor and cascade of dark hair caught my eye. We bonded over late-night coding sessions and endless debates about the best frameworks, and from there, love grew naturally. Our days had a rhythm that felt like music. Mornings started with coffee on the porch, the sun filtering through the trees. While she planned her freelance graphic design projects at the dining table, her sketches scattered like artful confetti, and I tackled debugging code for my startup job. Evenings were a mix of takeout or her experimental recipes. Some nights we de-feast on surprisingly good lasagna. Other times we de-laugh over burnt attempts at gourmet. She had this knack for turning even kitchen disasters into moments of joy. We'd settle in with takeout boxes or her creations, binge-watching shows, arguing passionately over plot twists, and then cuddling up like it was the only place we belonged. It was a routine that wrapped around us like a warm blanket, solid and comforting. A partnership I thought would last forever. Family was the heartbeat of our world. My parents, Carlos and Sophia, lived just an hour away, and we'd trek over for every holiday, where Chloe's homemade empanadas won over even my dad's picky taste buds. Sophia would beam, calling her our daughter-in-law in spirit. My sister, Isabella, a painter herself, would spend hours with Chloe swapping art tips, their laughter echoing through the house during family gatherings. They adored her, saw her as part of us, and I felt proud bringing her into that fold. Friends like my buddy Ryan would join us for poker nights, where Chloe's bluffing skills turned her into the table's wild card. Her competitive streak was legendary, and we'd all cheer or groan depending on her luck. No one ever whispered a word of trouble. It was all harmony. We talked about the future like it was a map we were drawing together, maybe getting a dog to roam the backyard, saving up for a bigger place with a studio for her art, even joking about kids someday. Trust was the foundation we built on. We shared everything, from passwords to bank accounts to the silliest dreams like traveling to Japan for cherry blossoms. I'd leave my laptop open with work files, and she'd do the same with her design drafts. There were no secrets, or so I thought. Work kept us busy but balanced. I was climbing the ranks at a tech startup, landing bigger projects, while Chloe's client list grew, her designs gracing upscale homes and offices. We weren't rolling in cash, but we saved for little joys. A new flat-screen TV, weekend getaways to the coast. Life felt full. Our intimacy was a deep current running through it all. Late nights turned into confessions, her fears of not being artsy enough, my worries about meeting deadlines, raw, honest moments that made me feel seen in a way I'd never been before. She'd curl up against me, her head on my chest, and we'd talk until the stars faded, planning a life where we'd grow old together, bickering over who'd win at chess in our golden years. I'd surprise her with the latest tech gadgets she drooled over, and she'd counter with breakfast in bed, her grin lighting up the morning. Looking back, those days glowed with a warmth I took for granted. Our house, adorned with her vibrant art. And my practical tech setups was our sanctuary, a place where love seemed unshakable. Sarah made every mundane moment an adventure. Grocery runs turned into races down aisles, her cart weaving like a pro, while I tried to keep up, laughing until we'd collapse in the parking lot. Weekends might mean hiking with Ryan or lazy Sundays binge-watching her favorite anime. her excitement infectious as she explained every plot twist. I trusted her completely. Her phone would buzz with client messages, and I'd never think twice, handing it over if she asked me to reply. Life was predictable in the best way, a steady climb toward something lasting, with her as my partner, my confidant, my everything. We'd sit on the couch, her feet in my lap, dreaming aloud about opening a joint studio cafe someday, her designs on the walls, my code running the systems. But even the brightest days can hide shadows, can't they? I didn't see the cracks forming beneath the surface, the way her smiles sometimes didn't reach her eyes, or how she'd linger a bit too long on her phone late at night. Everything seemed perfect. No arguments about fidelity, no late-night fights over trust, just us, living our shared life, happy as could be. I'd come home to find her sketching, humming, and feel a surge of gratitude for this woman who fit so seamlessly into my world. Our friends would tease us as the power couple, and I'd swell with pride, oblivious to the storm brewing. Looking back, maybe I missed the signs, her occasional evasiveness, the way she'd change topics when I asked about her day, but love blinded me to the possibility of betrayal. Our home was a reflection of us. Her colorful throw pillows clashing with my minimalist desk setup, her plants thriving under my grow lights, a blend of her chaos and my order. We'd host dinners, her plating food like a chef, me managing the playlist, and everyone would leave raving about our perfect vibe. I'd catch her watching me sometimes, a soft look in her eyes, and think, this is it, this is forever. Work stress melted away in her presence. She'd massage my shoulders after long coding marathons, and I'd do the same after her deadline crunches. It was a dance of give and take, or so I believed, a partnership forged in mutual respect and love. Yet, normalcy can be a mask, hiding truths we're too comfortable to question. I'd wake up to her making coffee, her hair a mess, and feel like the luckiest guy alive. We'd plan our next hike, debating trails, or argue over which streaming service to cancel to save money, always landing on a compromise. No red flags waved, no unexplained absences, no sudden mood shifts that screamed trouble, just a life I thought was bulletproof. Our neighbors knew us as the couple who shoveled snow together, who waved hello over morning coffees, a picture of domestic bliss. I didn't know then that bliss could shatter, that the woman I loved was weaving a web I'd soon be tangled in. Looking back, those golden days were a prelude to chaos, a calm before the storm I never saw coming. Every laugh, every shared meal, every quiet moment on the porch now feels laced with irony. I trusted her with my heart, my home, my future, never imagining she'd use it as a stage for her next act. But that's the thing about life. It can flip on a dime, and mine was about to take a turn I couldn't have scripted, no matter how many lines of code I'd written. The first hint of trouble crept in like a bug in my code. Small, annoying, but easy to overlook if you're not paying attention. About 6 months ago, Chloe's behavior started shifting, subtle at first, like a shadow crossing the sun. She'd stay up late, working, her laptop glowing in the dim living room while I crashed early, only to wake up to her still tapping away, her phone buzzing with messages she'd hush with a quick swipe. I'd catch her smiling at the screen, a private grin that faded when I walked in, and she'd lock it fast, mumbling, "Just a client deadline." I brushed it off. Freelancers pull all-nighters, right? But the pattern nagged at me, a glitch I couldn't debug. Then came the excuses, piling up like untested code. She'd head out for friend nights, returning hours later with a scent of cologne that wasn't mine clinging to her jacket, her hair slightly mussed in a way that didn't match a girl's night vibe. Our intimacy, once a steady flame, began to flicker. She'd turn away from my touch, claiming exhaustion, or roll over with a sigh when I reached for her. I asked once, voice soft, "Everything okay?" And she snapped, "Why so nosy, Lucas?" It stung like a slap, her tone cutting through the trust we'd built, leaving me questioning if I'd imagined our closeness. Tension seeped into our daily life, turning harmony into a tightrope walk. Our usual laughs over dinner prep turned to silence, broken only by the clink of dishes or her sharp comments about me leaving a mug in the sink, stuff that never bothered her before. I tried bridging the gap, asking about her day, but she'd deflect with a curt, "Fine," or change the subject to my work, avoiding her own. Ryan noticed it too, pulling me aside after a poker night. "Chloe's off, man. You good?" I forced a nod, not wanting to admit the doubt gnawing at me. But her distance was a puzzle I couldn't solve. Friends started picking up the vibe. Isabella mentioned Chloe skipping our last family barbecue, claiming a project, but her absence felt deliberate. Ryan echoed it, noting she dodged their last hiking trip, her excuses vague. I started watching closer. Her mood swings, happy one day, icy the next, felt like a roller coaster I hadn't signed up for. She'd drop names like Darren, a new contact from a networking event, too casually for my liking. "Just business," she'd say, but his name kept surfacing, a thread I couldn't ignore. The doubts grew louder, a hum in the background of my mind. She'd leave for hours, her location sharing mysteriously off. "Battery died?" she'd claim, her phone suspiciously charged when she returned. Our shared calendar, once a roadmap of our life, went blank, her entries disappearing like erased code. I'd find her texting late, her fingers flying, then stopping when I entered, her excuse a weak, wrapping up. My gut churned. Was she pulling away? Or worse, pulling someone else in? Our home, once a haven, started feeling like a set for a drama I didn't write. It wore me down, this constant second-guessing. I loved her, still do in some broken way, but the trust we'd built wobbled like a shaky foundation. I'd lie awake, her soft breathing beside me, wondering if she was dreaming of someone else. Our arguments escalated over nothing. Me forgetting to take out the trash, her leaving art supplies everywhere, each fight a mirror to the growing rift. I tried talking, really talking, but she'd shut me down with a glare or a sigh, leaving me to stew in my suspicions alone. Her phone became a fortress. Where she once left it on the counter, now it was always in her pocket or face down, the screen a mystery I wasn't allowed to peek at. I'd hear her laugh softly at messages, then catch herself, forcing a neutral expression when I asked who it was. "Work stuff," she'd repeat, but the lie felt thicker each time. Friends like Isabella hinted at changes. "She's been secretive lately," she'd say over coffee, but I defended her, clinging to the Chloe I knew, not this stranger emerging. The unease built into a constant undercurrent. She'd come home late, her stories inconsistent. Dinner with the girls one night, a client meeting the next, but no details to back it up. Our intimacy tanked. She'd dodge my hugs, claiming a headache, or sleep with her back to me, a wall I couldn't breach. I started noting patterns. Her best mood always followed those late nights, her worst when I pressed for answers. Was she hiding something? The thought haunted me, turning our shared space into a minefield. I confided in Ryan once, over beers, my voice low. "Something's off with Chloe." He nodded, grim. "Seen her with some guy at a bar last week, didn't think much of it. Could be work." My stomach dropped. A guy? I pushed for more, but he shrugged, unsure. That night, I checked her socials. Subtle likes on posts from a Darren, a name she'd mentioned. My heart raced. Was this the contact she'd downplayed? Our home, once a sanctuary, now felt like a stage for her secret play, and I was the unwitting audience. Exhaustion set in, this game of cat and mouse draining me. I loved her, wanted to trust, but the signs pointed elsewhere. Her evasiveness, the late nights, the new friend. Our life, once a duet, felt like a solo act I was struggling to keep up with. I'd sit on the couch, her laughter from another room a knife, wondering how long I'd been blind. Something was brewing, a storm I couldn't yet name, and it was about to break over me like a tidal wave. The bomb dropped 2 weeks ago, a detonation that shattered my world over a dinner I'll never forget. Chloe had gone all out. Lasagna bubbling in the oven, my favorite, candles flickering on the table, a bottle of red wine breathing beside her. I walked in, tie loosened after a long day, thinking, maybe she got that big client she'd been chasing, or a promotion I didn't know about. She sat me down, her smile wide and unnatural, a glint on her finger catching the light. A diamond ring I'd never seen. "Lucas, I've got news," she said, voice trembling with excitement. "I'm engaged to Darren. We've been together for months. He proposed yesterday." I froze, fork hovering over the pasta, my mind scrambling to process. Engaged? To Darren? While living in my house? "You're, what?" I managed, my voice a croak. She beamed, oblivious to my shock. "Isn't it exciting? I wanted you to be the first to know. Things will change, but I can stay here a bit while we find a place, maybe a month or two." My head spun, the room tilting as her words sank in. Months? She'd been seeing him, planning this, under my roof, eating my food, sleeping in my bed. I laughed, a harsh, bitter sound that echoed off the walls, disbelief spilling out. "Chloe, are you serious? Are you having a mental breakdown?" She frowned, confused. "No, I'm in love. Darren's amazing, everything I've wanted. And you tell me this now? Why?" She tilted her head as if I were the dense one. "Because we live together. We'll figure out a transition. I thought you'd understand." The audacity hit me like a freight train. Transition? In my house? I stood, legs shaky, and walked to the cabinet, pouring a whiskey with hands that trembled. I took a slow sip, the burn grounding me, then turned back. "Congratulations to you both." Her face lit up, genuine relief. "Really? Oh, thank you. I was worried you'd be upset." "Pack your things, 2 hours." Her smile crashed. "What? I live here." "Not anymore, you're done. Leave tonight," she argued. "That's illegal. I'm a tenant. Need 30 days. I shook my head. "No lease, no rent, no bills in your name. You're a guest, ex-guest. Call Darren." She pulled out her phone, recording, her voice rising. "This is harassment. I'm documenting this." I dialed 911, calm, despite the storm inside. "Need help removing someone. Ex-girlfriend announced her engagement, won't leave." Her jaw dropped. "You called the cops?" 1 hour, 55 minutes. I walked away, heart pounding, the lasagna forgotten, its cheesy smell now a mockery. Later, I dug deeper, adrenaline fueling me. Her laptop sat open on the table, careless mistake. I scrolled her emails, finding chats with a Darlene, clearly a cover for Darren, about secret meetups, coded like a spy novel. Texts synced to her cloud showed flirty exchanges, dinner plans, late-night calls, all while I paid the bills. Receipts popped up, spa days, fancy meals, charged to my card she'd borrowed. Betrayal cut deep. I'd funded her double life. I checked our shared drive, photos of her with Darren, time-stamped months back, at places she'd claimed were work trips. My stomach churned. She'd lied about conventions, about late nights. A voice note to him, "Lucas is so clueless, perfect cover." Clueless? I'd given her everything. Home, love, stability. Tears stung as I realized the depth. Months of deception, my trust a joke. The discovery peaked with her journal app, password our anniversary, a cruel irony. Entries detailed her growing connection with Darren, his charm, his promises, contrasting my predictability. She wrote of testing me, seeing if I'd fight for her while planning her exit. One line, "Darren's ring feels like freedom." My heart shattered. This wasn't a fling. It was a calculated betrayal. I backed up everything. Screenshots, recordings, receipts, evidence of her life here. Anger mixed with sorrow. I still loved her. But this? Unforgivable. I moved my stuff to the guest room, done with her space. The cops' arrival loomed. I prepared, knowing this fight was just beginning. My home, my rules. She'd overstayed her welcome, and I was taking it back. The cops arrived in 20 minutes, two officers stepping into my chaos with professional calm, their presence a lifeline. I handed over my deed, my ID, my story, Chloe's engagement announcement, her refusal to leave. They turned to her, badges glinting. "Ma'am, is this true?" She nodded, defiant. "I've lived here years. I have rights." "Lease?" "No." "Rent?" "I contribute." I pulled up my banking app, mortgage, utilities, all in my name, paid by me alone. Their expressions hardened. "Ma'am, you're engaged. Why stay?" Chloe's eyes welled up, not with sadness but rage. "I need time to figure things out." The older cop, gray-haired and weary, said, "Voluntarily leave, or it's a legal matter." She started packing, sobbing angrily, live streaming on Instagram. "He's kicking me out for finding love." I stayed silent, watching her haul 2 suitcases and garbage bags, her drama unfolding for an audience I didn't care about. As she left, she turned, venom in her voice. "I'll be back for the rest." "Text me. I'll leave it outside." The cops waited until she drove off in my car, a detail I'd address later. "Change locks, get cameras," the older one advised. I nodded. The locksmith was already en route, and I'd ordered a camera system that afternoon. My home felt violated, but I was reclaiming it. Next day, my phone exploded. 67 texts, 30 calls, Instagram pings. Darren messaged, "Bro, that was cold. Give her time." "Bro, you proposed to my live-in girlfriend. Not cool." Chloe's mom, Linda, called at dawn. "Lucas, what's this?" "She's engaged, Linda." A long pause. "She said you were roommates." "First I've heard." "Did she tell Darren that too?" Linda stammered. I need to call you back." She never did. Darren showed up mid-morning, man bun and entitlement radiating. "We need her stuff. She owns clothes, a laptop. Receipts prove the rest is mine, bedroom set, sofa, all me." He reddened. "She's staying with her sister. This is humiliating for her." "For her? She announced your engagement in my house." He argued. "She said you knew." I laughed. "She lied. Try getting her stuff. Make my day." He stormed off. I installed 3 more cameras, paranoia setting in. Chloe escalated, posting online about an abusive ex throwing her out for love. I countered with evidence. Texts of her "I love yous" days before, credit card charges for her spa days with Darren. Truth unraveled her narrative. Friends commented, "Wait, you were engaged while living there?" Her sister Mia left a voicemail. "Lucas, I'm sorry. She brought Darren to dinners, said you were done. Mom's furious. Can I get her stuff?" "Already packed. Come by." The car issue hit next. That car she drove? Mine. Fully paid. My name. She'd told Darren it was hers. I reported it stolen. Cops pulled her over. She called, furious. "You reported my car?" "Your car? You don't live here, that's theft. You let me use it." As my girlfriend. "Now you're Darren's problem." She Ubered away, texting threats. I picked up my car, unfazed. Darren's crew tried breaking in days later, 4 guys at 9 p.m. I called 911 again. 4 men trying to break in." They pounded the door. "We're getting her stuff." I showed cops footage. One was cuffed for attempted entry. The others cited. I locked eyes with Darren. "She lived here, rent-free, cheating with you. Want to play legally? I've got deeper pockets." He backed down, threats fading. Legal battles loomed. Linda met me at a coffee shop, tired. "The truth, Lucas." I showed bank statements, texts, the dinner receipt, her celebration on my dime. "She said you were separated." "Never." Janet pushed $3,000 across the table. "For what she took, we enabled her." I took it, stunned. Darren's doubts grew. Chloe's demands pushed him away. My fight was winning, step by step. Weeks later, Chloe's life unraveled like a poorly written script. Friends ditched her after my posts exposed her lies. Mutuals called her out online. "You lived with him while engaged?" Linda and her husband sent apologies, the $3,000 a guilt offering, admitting they'd enabled her entitlement. Chloe moved to Mia's, demanding money, her Instagram rants about trauma ignored. Mia texted, "She's a mess. Darren's pulling back." I felt a grim satisfaction. Karma was at work. Darren dumped her when she pushed for cash, her pregnancy claim a lie exposed by his roommate's cameras. Common area footage caught her admitting it, laughing at manipulating men. Cops escorted her out again. She threatened assault claims, but evidence silenced her. Chloe moved back with her parents, working part-time at a boutique, engaged online to a guy she's never met. Another delusion. Darren's roommates kicked him out. His Instagram went private. Motivational quotes his shield. Linda and Robert started therapy, sending a Christmas card with $2,000 more, a deadline for Chloe to leave. Mia and I bonded over texts. She's in therapy too, unpacking family dysfunction. Me? I'm thriving. House is mine, peaceful. Bills lower. Dating Emma, who insists on splitting checks, her independence a balm. Ran into Darren's roommate at a bar. He spilled the full saga. Chloe's pregnancy lie. Darren's fallout. Karma's thoroughness amazed me. I've upgraded the house, turning the guest room into a gaming den, reclaiming my space. Reflection hit hard in therapy. Trust your gut. Chloe's entitlement, living off me while cheating, showed her true colors. I ignored red flags. Her job excuses, crises avoiding contribution. Her announcement was a gift, ending a lie I'd clung to. I learned boundaries are life. Her control nearly broke me. Moral. Act fast when betrayed. Protect yourself. Locks, cameras, evidence. Live well. It's the best revenge. Her delusion, staying while planning a wedding, taught me self-respect. I wake up free, no drama, building a life with Emma, who values partnership. The house is quiet now, a canvas for my future. I've knocked down a wall, planning a bigger suite. Chloe's someone else's problem, her parents, her online fiancés. I've moved on, stronger, wiser, ready for what's next.